and you'll find it very helpful to finding your roots and your ancestors.
Right. I think there are some other resources too here. The newspapers. Um, we have the Norwich Bulletin on microfilm here, and that is partially indexed as well, so that you can look up in the index family names. Sometimes it will
Mm.
list golden wedding anniversaries or
Mm.
obituaries,
Mm-hmm.
other news articles
Mm-hmm.
about someone,
Mm-hmm.
and those can be very helpful
Mm-hmm.
in finding out more about your family and giving clues as to, where people lived,
Mm-hmm.
when people lived, when they died.
And an individual, an ancestor could be an orphan and be
Yes.
taking care of another family member. Um, there are incidences where a spouse died young, and the other spouse, living spouse, remarried and had stepchildren or other children by a second spouse.
Right.
So
Uh,
some of the stories are quite fascinating and intriguing.
there are also probate records. When someone dies and they leave an estate, that goes into the probate court.
Mm,
Um, the probate records for Norwich are now located primarily in Hartford at the State Library. But
okay.
um, we do have some very early probate records here
Mm,
that have been published. We have the state, the colony and the state records
mm.
for many years.
Yeah, and you can also go to the National Archives.
Yes.
They have a, a fantastic genealogy center, and there are some documents that you might need to pay for, like $5 for a birth certificate for an individual that you're looking for, but you can pay that with a debit card or a credit card. And there's also the Daughters of the American Revolution in Washington, D.C. They have a great genealogy center, and you can also get documents from their library, genealogy library,
Right. There's a tremendous amount of information.
and a tremendous amount of
I would say
information.
another resource that Otis has is um, a whole series of volumes, Search for Missing Friends, about
Mm.
Irish in the 1800s who were advertising for members of their family or friends that they had gotten separated from during the famine and the move
Mm.
to America. So they will
Mm.
often put ads in the papers, and this has been compiled. It can be very helpful in tracking down, say, an Irish ancestor.
Yes, Irish, Europe. There was a wave of immigrants in the mid 1800s from Switzerland, Germany, Russia that came here to the United States and um, began their new lives here in America. So, but they have um, passenger records from ships that came over from that departed maybe from Germany or people that came here in the mid 1800s. So yeah, I think it's a nice hobby. You don't have to rush into it, but you can't help but get excited learning about your ancestors, what they did, where they came from.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And of course, one of the things about Norwich is that because many people started here and moved, as you were saying, westwards,
Mhm.
you have many people who live in the Midwest or the West whose
Mhm.
ancestors came from here
Mhm.
and who often come back looking for those folks.
Mhm.
So um, this is a great resource. The librarians are very helpful.
Mhm.
Um, we have microfilm machines to
Mhm.
read microfilm and microfiche. Um, we have the newspapers, local newspapers on
Mhm.
microfilm, and
Yeah, how far back to the newspapers?
Well, I
do
think
you
the Norwich packet starts in 1773, so it's quite early.
Yeah.
And
They
it's
would
not
have birth records, marriage records, death records. Yeah.
and right, vital statistics are published up through the 1852, I think.
Mhm.
So you can access those here. Also, there are military records for the state here, published ones, and quite a bit of number of genealogies that were written, by families about their
Yes.
ancestry.
Yes.
So that's useful.
Mhm.
Um,
Churches keep records in different states also, in churches in Connecticut in this area.
yes, most of those are now at the state library.
Okay.
They've collected a great deal of those, but there are some published church records here in Otis Library. It's a good resource and really a
Yeah.
great place to start,
Yeah.
or even continue. Um, as I say, it's surprising how much they do have here.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
and of course, you have so many different ethnic groups that have come through. Germans, Irish, Italians,
Yes.
Eastern Europeans.
Canadians.
French Canadian is very big.
Mexico.
Exactly.
Yep. Haiti.
Yes. And the
Yeah.
library has recently acquired Rennie Dugus's photographs,
Oh yeah.
which they are digitizing.
Yeah.
These are largely of Taftville, but there are
Oh.
thousands of
Oh.
photographs of French Canadian families.
Mm.
So that's a really invaluable resource for
Yes.
anyone looking up their French
Yes.
Canadian ancestry.
And like I was saying, to the audience listening that would like to get started with their genealogy, that you should get a manila envelope or a folder to keep all your papers in, and get a label with the surname of the family, that the records, the documents to put in that packet.
There are, right, and there are some I think genealogical publishing houses that actually have pre-printed packets that you can use to put your
I didn't know
ancestry
that.
on. But there's a
Wow.
lot of choices out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quite a bit of material. We also have, the local histories of the various towns and of New London County here, so that these will often mention individuals and families. Some of those histories have genealogies built into the history. So history of Montville, history of Norwich by Calkins. She has a lot of genealogical.
Would you like to give your email address one more time in case
Sure.
anyone would like more information regarding their ancestors? Maybe there's something an ancestor that you can't find information you're looking for. Dale, what is your email address again?
My official email address is cityhistorian at norwichct.org.
Okay,
That will reach me, and I get quite a few inquiries by email at this point.
Great. All right, so I want to thank you for joining me today.
Certainly. My
And I
pleasure.
hope that we've gotten, some people motivated to, go to Ancestry.com or any other genealogy website and do some genealogy. I think you'll enjoy it. Thank you.